He smashed my face into our birthday cake, so I slapped him in front of his whole family. I, 34F, am writing this while still emotionally rattled and unsure if I'm seeing things clearly. So I'm hoping your judgment will help me process this. This happened a few days ago, and things have spiraled more than I ever anticipated. Let me preface by saying, I've never been in a physically violent relationship. Never slapped anyone. Never been slapped. I don't come from a family where that was normal. But something snapped inside me, and now I'm being painted as the villain. Let's go back. My boyfriend Charles, 38M, and I have been dating for nearly 3 years. We share a birthday month, so for the past 2 years we've done joint celebrations. Last year I pulled off a cute surprise dinner for him. Personalized gifts, custom cake, his favorite food. I was making less money back then, but still made it special. He, on the other hand, showed up to my birthday dinner with a card and a store-bought mini cake. I was disappointed, but didn't make a scene. We talked about it later, and I explained that while I didn't care about money or grand gestures, I did care about effort and thoughtfulness. Fast forward to this year. I've recently hit a big career milestone. Got a promotion I'd been working toward for years. To celebrate, I booked a private dining room at a nice restaurant. It wasn't extravagant, just intimate, tasteful, and within my budget. I covered the room rental and offered to split the food cost 50-50 with Charles. He handled the guest list, 11 people total, with for being my friends and the rest his family. He also ordered a cake and gave me a spice rack as a gift, which I genuinely loved. So far, so good. The evening started beautifully. Everyone was mingling, enjoying drinks, and the atmosphere was warm. I had spent the whole afternoon getting ready. Hair done, lashes, fresh eyebrows, and new outfit. I wanted to feel good about myself, and I did. For a little while. When it came time to bring out the cake, I had asked that we not blow out the candles the traditional way. Germs and all. So we posed for photos instead. Then came the moment. I was standing there, holding the cake carefully, smiling for the camera when Charles came up behind me. At first, I thought he was just going to put his arm around me for a cute picture. But then I felt his hand on the back of my neck. He started pushing my face toward the cake. I resisted, laughing awkwardly, thinking no way, not here, not now. But then his brother and cousins started cheering. Do it, do it. It escalated fast. I tried to pull away, saying, stop. Seriously, don't. But he didn't stop. He forced me down, bending me over the table until my face hit the cake. Not a playful boop of frosting. Full face plant. The impact knocked the cake partially over, smeared icing across my neck and hair, and ruined my blouse. I couldn't see out of one eye. And then he did it again. Grabbed more cake and rubbed it in my hair. My friends jumped up trying to stop him. I was frozen at first, humiliated, and then something inside me snapped. When he reached for me a third time, laughing, I slapped him across the face. The room went silent. His mother stood up and immediately began yelling at one of my friends who had stepped in during the chaos. His aunt looked mortified. His siblings were in shock. My friends were trying to comfort me, but I was trembling, covered in frosting and food coloring. I ran to the restroom, trying not to cry until I got there. Looking in the mirror was like seeing someone else. Mascara ruined, frosting in my hair, neck sticky, blouse stained with red and blue coloring that wouldn't come out. I cleaned myself as best as I could, tied my hair up in a bun, and walked back out through the restaurant's main dining area, past dozens of strangers staring at me. When I returned, Charles looked annoyed. His family was stone-faced. I told him what he did was completely unacceptable. His response? It was just a joke. Everyone does it. You slapping me made you look crazy in front of my family. I started crying again. I gathered my things, told him he'd need to cover the food for himself and his guests, and I walked out with my friends. They offered to take me to another restaurant, but I couldn't bear to be seen. I just wanted to go home. They later sent me money to cover what I spent, even though I begged them not to. That broke my heart. Charles texted me the next day, angry that he had to pay the restaurant's cleaning fee and cover half the bill alone. He said I embarrassed him. He demanded I apologize to his mother, who was already dealing with mild depression, something I didn't know about, and now felt publicly humiliated because of my violent outburst. He told me that his family thinks I'm unstable, and that my slap was worse than his joke. He's trying to frame this entire thing as a culture clash between my friends and his fun-loving family. I told him I wouldn't apologize, that I would never be able to trust him again, that he ruined what should have been a moment of pride and joy for me. I explained that it wasn't about the cake. It was about the public humiliation, the lack of consent, and the way he turned my celebration into a joke for his family. He responded, I paid for the cake, and you didn't pay for everything. It's not like I disrespected you on purpose. That was the last straw. Update 1. I broke up with him. Over the phone. I didn't want to see him in person again. I told him point blank, "You humiliated me. You physically overpowered me. You disrespected my boundaries and didn't even flinch when I told you to stop." That wasn't a joke. That was bullying disguised as humor. He told me I must never have loved him. I told him that I did love him, but that love doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. That I was proud of myself, my career, and my self-worth. And I wasn't going to let anyone tear that down, least of all the person who's supposed to care for me. He didn't respond after that. I blocked him on everything. Update 2. A day after the breakup, Charles's younger sister messaged me privately on Instagram. I braced for an attack, but surprisingly, she apologized. She said she was horrified by what happened, that she's seen Charles pull jokes like this before, and that their family often laughs it off because boys will be boys. She told me she was relieved someone finally called him out, even if it ended badly. She also said their mother has always been emotionally fragile and that the rest of the family walks on eggshells around her. That's why everyone froze instead of intervening. It made me feel sad, honestly, but it didn't change anything. Update 3. 2 nights later, my friend surprised me with a tiny gathering at my favorite cafe. Just us. No cake, no candles, just warm food, hugs, and laughter. I showed up in a comfy sweater, no makeup, and it was the first time I'd smiled in days. They told me how proud they were of me, not just for the promotion, but for standing up for myself. One of them said, "You taught us that it's okay to draw a line, even when it's messy." So, Reddit, AITA for slapping him? Maybe in some alternate universe, where physical reaction outweighs emotional assault.